Who is going to be the ultimate second-tier champion in European football? Hello everyone and welcome to the What If League. Today we have a brand new experiment and this one is actually requested by a viewer. A big shout out to Midnight Dreary and his idea to create the Aspire Cup. This is the brand new European competition which is pitting together the champions of the second tier divisions in the top 8 European leagues in football. The experiment begins in January 2018, so the first edition of this competition has already been played and I'm showing you the results right now on the screen. You can see that in the quarterfinals Newcastle lost to Stuttgart, Portimonense defeated the Italian Spal, while Strasbourg also defeated Royal Antwerp, and Levante managed to eliminate the Dutch Venlo. Just to give some background and explanation of the rules of the competition before I continue forward, this competition is a knockout competition, which means that it begins with quarterfinals. Then the winners of those of this round qualify for the semi-finals, and there we have a final. The quarterfinals have only one leg to be played, which is played on a neutral stadium. Then the semi-finals and the finals have 2 legs, and this means that they have home and away fixtures. Additional rules that have been applied require that in the cases of draws, there is no golden goal, there is no away goal elimination, there is no silver goal. The only thing that matters is that they're going to continue playing in extra time, then penalties, which are going to be played in the ABBA format. So back again to the 2017 Aspire Cup edition. Keep in mind that this competition is taking place from the end of July until mid-August in order not to interfere with the actual competitions in the game, but all of those teams would have to start their preparations a bit earlier, and this is probably going to lead to some problems of player exhaustion or maybe even injuries. So these were the quarterfinals. Moving to the first leg of the semi-finals, we can see that Portimonense and Strasbourg drew while Stuttgart defeated Levante at home. Then in the second leg, Levante defeated Stuttgart at home but lost on aggregate, and Strasbourg managed to defeat Portimonense. This means that Stuttgart and Strasbourg will compete for the title, the very first title of the Aspire Cup, and in the first final leg, Strasbourg lost at home 3-1 with Mario Gomez scoring 2 goals for the visitors. In the second leg, Stuttgart recorded a home victory 1-0 and were crowned the first champions of the Aspire Cup. I am now going to fast forward until the end of this season to see who will challenge for the second edition of the Aspire Cup, and we will be right back with you. Here we are now at the end of the first season, and let's have a quick look who were crowned champions of the second tier divisions in the top 8 leagues. So in England, title holders are Wolverhampton, so let's have a look. Indeed, the Wolves were champions 15 points above Bristol. In Segunda División, Tenerife were champions above Rayo Vallecano. Then in Bundesliga 2, who were champions, it was Nuremberg. So Nuremberg have qualified for the Bundesliga and the Aspire Cup. Going to Italy, where we have Serie B, where Palermo have been champions and will compete in the new European competition. In the French League 2, if somebody can drop me a note how exactly this is pronounced in French, I would be very happy, thank you. The champions are Reims, quite confidently with 18 points above Nîmes. And then in the Portuguese Liga Pro, the champions were Arouca. Arouca would compete in the Aspire Cup. In the Dutch Eerste Divisie, Go Ahead Eagles were champions just 1 point above NEC Nijmegen. So they are going to compete in the new European competition, the Aspire Cup. In the Proximus League in Belgium, the champions this year were, I'm not sure, let me just check. So we have Champions Playoff, Beerschot, Wilrijk are the champions of the Belgian second tier division. Now that we know who is going to be part of the Aspire Cup, I am going to fast forward until the end of that tournament to see what happened in year 2018. Here we are now, Aspire Cup 2018, and you see the quarterfinal stage. We see that Beerschot Wilrijk, the Belgian team, lost at home to the German Nuremberg, while the Spanish Levante defeated Go Ahead Eagles from the Netherlands. The French Reims eliminated the Portuguese Arouca, and English Wolverhampton lost at home to Italian Palermo. For some reason, I'm not able to switch to the tree view to show you the whole competition and how it evolves. That's very unfortunate. Apologies for that. If somebody knows the reason why Football Manager does not allow me to do that, I think maybe it has something to do with the database. I will have a look later on. Now moving to the semi-finals, first leg, we see that Levante won at home 2-1 against Italian Palermo, while Nuremberg also managed to record the same result 2-1 against French Reims. In the second legs, Palermo lost 1-2 at home to Levante, and Levante are now the first finalists. Reims won on penalties against Nuremberg after repeating the same result as in the first game, 2-1. And in the final first leg, Reims lost at home to Levante. Unfortunately for them, they had a player sent off early on in the middle of the first half. That probably was decisive for the end result of that game. Then in the second leg, they drew 1-1, which was sufficient for Levante to be crowned champions, and they are now the second champions of the Aspire Cup. Congratulations to the Spanish Levante. I am going to fast forward another season into the future to see edition number 3 of the Aspire Cup, and this is going to conclude this experiment, at least for now. Please let me know what you guys think about this experiment and whether you want to see part 2 of it, maybe 3 more years into the future, or if you would like to see another custom competition created in the game. We are now at the 2nd of June 2019, which means that all of the competitions, all of the national leagues have ended, and the champions in the English second tier are Stoke. So Stoke have been relegated in the first tier of the Premiership. I am now also going to have a quick look at the top tier divisions to see who are champions in those 2 years. So as you can see here, we have Stoke, who are going to compete in the Aspire Cup. Then moving up to the Premier League, Manchester City were champions 2 points above Manchester United and Arsenal, and they were also champions the last year out, so this is not really surprising. Moving to Spain, where in La Liga, Atletico Madrid were champions in season 2018-19, while the previous year Barcelona were crowned champions. Going down to Segunda, Las Palmas are the new champions of the Spanish second tier. So this is a very, very interesting turn of events. Now let's have a quick look at the Italian Serie A, where Juventus were champions in this season, and also in the last. You can see that they're absolutely dominant in this league in the past few years. Then in the second tier, champions were Palermo. They are Carpi. So Carpi are going to compete in the Aspire Cup in this edition 2019. Let's see who won the Bundesliga this season. The Bundesliga was won by Bayern Munich. This is not really... Oh, this is interesting. Not Bayern Munich, but actually Borussia Dortmund were champions this year. So they were quite dominantly 10 points above Bayern, but only 3 above Red Bull Leipzig. Moving down to Bundesliga 2, who were champions here, Hamburg. So Hamburg are going to compete in the Aspire Cup. Then going to France, where in Ligue 1 the champions were Monaco. The last season champions were Paris Saint-Germain, as you can see, and moving down to League 2, where champions are Lorient. So Lorient are going to be part of the Aspire Cup in 2019. Going to Portuguese Primeira Liga, champions this year are Porto. They are 4 points above Benfica and 7 points above Sporting Clube de Portugal. Let me see what happened then in Liga Pro. In Liga Pro, Moreirense are the new champions and competitors in the Aspire Cup. So this is going to be interesting. Going now to the Belgian League, champions this year are Anderlecht. Then in the, let me just see, Championship Group, Anderlecht again. So just to be sure, because this is a very complex league setup that they have in Belgium. Then dropping down to the Proximus League, let's see, we have here the Champions Playoff. I think here we have Mechelen. So Mechelen have won the Champions Playoff. And I think that means that they are going to be competing in the Aspire Cup as well. Apologies if I am mistaking this, it's a bit tricky with the Belgian leagues. And now the last division that we want to see is in the Netherlands. First of all, Eredivisie, where PSV Eindhoven were champions of the Dutch top tier. And in the second tier, the Eerste Divisie, we see that the champions were Jong Ajax. which is strange. I'm not sure if they would be allowed to compete. Maybe it would be Nag Breda. We're going to see. So I'm going to fast forward until there is until it's time to play the Aspire Cup, and I'll be right back with you. Here we are, this is Aspire Cup 2019, and we start off with the quarterfinals where the French Lorient defeated the German Hamburg, Belgian Mechelen eliminated Portuguese Moreirense, and the Italian Palermo lost at home after penalties to PSV Eindhoven. Tenerife from Spain also lost at home to Stoke 1-3. Now let's move on to the semi-finals where Lorient lost at home to Stoke, Mechelen lost at home to PSV Eindhoven, and then in the second leg PSV Eindhoven were dominant 4-0 against Mechelen. Stoke also managed to record a second victory against Lorient and qualify for the final. In the final first leg, PSV lost at home to Stoke. This is very unfortunate for the Dutch side. And then in the return leg, Stoke eliminated PSV Eindhoven after extra time. So this means that the regular time ended 0-1 again. And you can see here in the 11th minute, the Dutch visitors managed to score first. And Ryan Shawcross scored the winning goal for Stoke in extra time. Now with that, I think this is sufficient for me to close this experiment, at least part 1. If you guys want to see part 2, please let me know in the comments. For now, I'm not sure if I'm going to focus on this or maybe another experiment. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. That way you're going to receive notifications for when I upload new videos. In the meantime, you can also check out my social media. Links will be provided in the description below. Let me know what do you think about this and what would you like to see next. I would love to hear from you in the comments. Once again, thank you for watching. Until the next time, bye.